Parker.
Welcome to the world. Welcome to the world.
Nick Parker is at it again. This time he's up close and personal with Elvis Duran in the morning show's Elvis Duran.
Where hit music lives.
Hey, Elvis.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm awesome. I'm so impressed with that interview you did with Dave Fox, and it's online.
Yes.
Did you edit all that?
I did.
That's unbelievable. It's just incredible.
That means the world to me. Thank you so much, man.
So what can I do for you?
All right, well, let's jump right into things and get into this.
Okay.
As the leader of the world's biggest Top 40 morning show, can you tell us a little bit about how you, Monsieur Elvis Duran, broke into this crazy industry?
When I was 14 years old, by the way, when I was growing up as a kid, I used to play radio DJ in my bedroom, which a lot of us did. And I actually went out and bought a little cheap AM transmitter kit from Radio Shack, and I actually had a show that people on my block used to listen to, like once a week. I'd have it on the weekends.
Nice.
And, of course, you know, it was awful. But I always loved growing up listening to the radio, and I loved how the guys on the radio would use theater of the mind. They would paint these pictures with contests, you know, where the morning guy and the afternoon guy would race each other around the world and have to stop in different countries and pick up trinkets to bring back. And just these fun on-air promotions and contests they did. I thought that was so cool, you know?
Yeah.
And I was kind of a geeky kid, still am, I guess. I didn't hang out with a ton of kids when I was growing up, so I used to listen to the radio and just fell in love with the art of radio.
Okay.
So when I was 14, I was offered a job at a little bitty station, and I got a station job to run the Dallas Cowboy football games on the weekends, and that's how I got started.
Wow.
And I started my first weekend shift when I was 14 as well, on the air.
So you started with sports?
No, it was an AC station that just ran the Dallas Cowboys games on the weekends, which is kind of silly.
Okay.
And that's how I got started.
Okay.
No one listened. I even tried to give away $100 of my own money one time to the fifth caller, and no one called.
Get out of here. Can I take you up on that now?
I wish. Wow, I had more money in my budget back then than I have now.
All right. Now, what qualities would you say that you possess that make you successful at what you do?
Well, they're not unique to me. I'm sure it's the same qualities a lot of more successful morning shows have, and that's just the love of connecting with people. Mm-hmm. And it's the need to evoke emotion in people.
I love your morning show in particular because exactly what you're talking about. You have like 100 people on that morning show.
Yeah, we like 200 people.
And I love that because someone could relate to every single person. You got Carolina, Danielle, John Bell. It's awesome.
Well, that's the luxury of having all these people to work with, because just like on the Seinfeld show, everyone would watch that show every week, Nick, and they'd have their favorite character. And very rarely was Jerry Seinfeld the favorite character of people who watched. Either they liked George the best or Kramer the best. It didn't matter who you liked, as long as there was someone on that show that you could relate to. And that's why we have the luxury of having so many people.
Yeah.
We have more voices and more opinions on the show.
Yes.
I know all the characters on my show very well, so I know how to drive the show down a certain lane and let them represent themselves at their finest, and, you know, people can relate with them.
Yeah. Now, who have you been working with the longest on your show?
Well, I guess it's Scary, Greg T, and Danielle.
Can you say Scary?
Scary. I mean, Scary, and the thing is that all three of them have in common is they all started as interns at this radio station.
Wow.
And they've never worked at any other radio station in their careers.
Awesome.
This is where they've grown up. So, and then John Bell came back about a year after we started.
Okay, cool. Now, besides having 200 people on the morning show, why do you think your morning show is so popular?
I wish I could just make up something and tell you that's the answer. I don't know.
Because I want to hear it from, like, the head honcho, because we love it. You know, we eat it up.
I'm going to make an assumption here, because it seems like it's an easy question to answer, but for me it's not, because I don't want to just feed you some BS. The reason why I think our show works is because we have such talented people and so many different points of view that are very relatable to. There's something everyone can enjoy on our show. Mm-hmm. It's almost like a variety show in a way from the old days, to use an old school term, where there's more to our show than just one thing. We have a phone tap segment.
Yeah.
Elvis Duran in the morning show. Don't answer the phone. Phone tap.
But we also have conversations about relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not just relationships about love. They're also relationships about, whoever's listening and their parents or their relationship with their friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we have great callers.
Listen, thank you for your call, Andrea. See, you got people waking up
that are solid and into the show and call up and feel and are comfortable just as comfortable on our show as they would be if they were sitting at a table with us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just an easy show to listen to.
Yeah. Now, speaking of your show and getting ready for it, what do? You must read everything because you're in the know, and that's awesome. And you need to be. But you always find like these interesting topics, then you find the obscure topics. You're all over. What do you read? What kind of things do you watch to prep for your show?
Every morning I have my top 15 websites I go to, which, just all of them. Newspaper websites and entertainment websites and just everything. And then we have a few writers that write for the show that are combing through magazines and combing through websites as well. I have a week's worth of prep in the studio at all times. And there's no way to get to it. And I don't really grid it out. I just kind of pick it as we go.
Yeah.
Because, every day we're in a different mood. If I put the show together on a Thursday night, Friday morning, if I get in here, I may not be in the same mood.
Yeah, true.
And I may not want to do those things. So I'd rather do what I'm comfortable with. That's why I always have a big variety of things to choose from.
Now, you mentioned you have like the top 10 sites or something. What would you say is like your top 2 that you have to check?
Oh, my God. Well,
You like Perez Hilton?
I love Perez Hilton.
Yes.
I love TMZ.
Okay.
Those are my 2 favorites.
Talking about Z100, what is the most unexpected thing to ever happen on your show throughout its entire history?
Danielle going into labor on the show. Not this baby, but the last baby 3 years ago. No, we did a great job incorporating her pregnancy into the show because it's so relatable not only to women who are pregnant or have been, but who want to be. So it's relatable to all women. Mm-hmm. And when she was just sitting here, she went into labor and she started having her baby on the show.
Man.
So we had to rush her to the hospital, and we, of course, covered the whole thing. And I bring that up as a great example of a great surprise because it was one of the more fun, satisfying surprises.
I saw your website. You're getting ready for the Battle of the Babies, too.
Yeah, here we go.
Here we go.
That's a big thing. For some reason, women love to sit around computers and look at babies. And it's like they're porn. I don't get it.
If you could have absolutely no limitations to radio programming, describe to me what your ideal program would be.
My ideal program would be just freeform, just to kind of trust the gut thing. But as you know, Nick, in this day and age, program directors don't trust us to make all the decisions.
Now, what is your opinion on satellite radio?
I love satellite radio. I have satellite radio.
Wow.
I don't consider it a competitor, really, in my world anyway. Yeah. I think it's in addition to terrestrial radio. Mm-hmm. I consider it just as big a competitor as I do an iPod or any distraction. Look, we're on during drive time, and there's, we talk to people in their cars.
Yeah.
I find, too many people in the car a competitor.
Interesting.
Think about it. It reduces my listening.
Okay.
And the good thing that satellite and other competition does for us is it allows us to be more unique. Mm-hmm. We now live in a world where if you want to hear a lot of music, you don't turn our show on because we only play 3 songs an hour. Mm-hmm. If you want a lot of music, turn on your iPod or turn on a station that plays a lot of music. If you want to hear the kind of talk and lifestyle information that we give, you turn us on.
Yeah.
We get to be very narrow in our focus, and we get to be one specific thing rather than be a mass appeal morning show. Mm-hmm. And with all these different places for people to turn for entertainment, you need to be that one unique thing. We need to give them something they can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't mind playing only 3 songs an hour. If we played more songs an hour, our ratings would go down. But when we played more songs per hour, we had nowhere near the number of listeners.
Now, we just talked about satellite radio. Have you ever thought about moving to satellite radio, or have they ever come to you?
They have never come to me. I have talked to them about the possibility of doing it. But you know what? Clear Channel has been so great to me in our show. Yeah. And Z100 is just, why would I want to leave Z100, you know? And now we're amassing a small, albeit small collection, but a collection of stations, and we're going to start growing even more in the next couple of weeks.
Yes,
with
awesome.
more stations. We're great right here. We have a great place to spew our content out of. So satellite radio, who knows, maybe one day.
Now let's gain more insight, more into who Elvis Duran really is. Now, food. Everyone loves food, right? You like
Well,
food?
look at me. I eat everything.
Now,
I love Italian. That's my favorite.
That's your favorite?
Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite place in the city that you gotta go to?
Yeah, Fresco by Scotto. Fresco is up on the Upper East Side.
Nice.
It's great.
Now, right by your studios, there's a terrific place that I love. It's not Italian. Have you ever been to Churrascaria Tribeca?
Oh, absolutely. Where they keep bringing meat to your chair.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, we went there one time, and I was oozing meat juice out of my pores for like 3 days. And they have those things where you turn it over to turn red to make them stop serving you.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. They kept bringing meat. I'm like, please, you got to stop. And they didn't understand me, so they kept bringing more meat. Yeah, that's only like 2 blocks from here.
Yes, that's right. Love it. Don't you love when meat juice?
If you need meat, that's where you go.
Hell yeah.